Alhaji Maitama Sule was a truly great man, and we can see that in the testimonials that followed his passing.
Virtues of Statesmanship and Nationalism in Focus, as a book on late Damasanin Kano, Maitama Sule, is presented to the reading public.
We brought about 100 bags of rice, including those ones that have been contributed by individuals and organizations.
Respite for victims of Benue flood, as government and organizations send more relief materials, just as farmers in Shonga, Kwara State, suffer devastation arising from flood.
NTA have the platform, have the basis of the equipment and the capacity, so we're starting from there.
Africa's largest network, the Nigerian Television Authority and Nigeria Football League Management Company, signed Memorandum of Understanding for coverage of Nigerian Football League matches from next season. A warm welcome to NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria. I am Ainde Shuaga. In our Lagos studio is Ademola Adeoye. Mohammed Ibrahim is in Maiduguri, and Kemi Akinwande is standing by in Ibadan. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says additional 5 trucks of assorted relief materials are on their way to Benue State to complement the initial 8 trucks already on ground to ameliorate the sufferings of the people. This step, according to NEMA, is to take care of preliminary assessment of the disaster. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu completes the report.
This is the warehouse where the 8-trailer loads of assorted relief items sent by the federal government 5 days ago to alleviate the sufferings of flood victims in Benue State are kept waiting to be distributed, even though the distribution is still sketchy.
Today again we brought about 100 bags of rice, including those ones that have been contributed by individuals and organizations. And you know that the store is being controlled because it's not only in Makurdi that this thing happens.
The victims of the flood disaster say there should be equal distribution of the relief materials.
Sometimes there are little things like close-up tissue they are sharing for us, but back they are sharing plenty things like close-up tissue they are sharing for us, but back they are sharing plenty things like right. I want to share something, they will go at back. Some people come there for yesterday, they will start from back. We are here.
The houses, people feel inside, and the way they are feeding us was not normal. It was yesterday that things started that it will be normal, and we are sleeping on the ground.
Investigations show that 21 out of the 23 local government areas of the state are worse affected by the flood. More than 230,000 people have been displaced and property worth billions of naira destroyed.
So things are going on very well here, and they don't seem to have any problem. Initially, yes, people come, the people didn't want to stay in camp. But of course, when they saw that we started bringing things, now that's why they started coming in here.
Other donors have given relief materials to complement federal government efforts. Benue State had in 2012 experienced similar flood disaster that displaced thousands of people and destroyed property worth millions of naira. In Makurdi, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
The federal government has promised to mobilize resources to begin dredging of River Benue and construction of drainage to avert further occurrence of flood in the state. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this while on a sympathy visit to Benue people. Again, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
The visit of the Vice President was greeted with a wide range of jubilation and cheers among the people. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was accompanied at the camp in Makurdi by the Benue State Governor Simon Utom, among other government functionaries. He assured of federal government support to the plight of the victims and promised their immediate relocation. While thanking the Benue people for their unflinching support for the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said the federal government is working assiduously to create more job opportunities for the teeming unemployed youth in the country.
I've already provided the immediate solutions. The IDP camp is ready. One of the things that the president wants us to do is to find a permanent solution to this perennial flooding in Benue State. So I think we're well on course.
Benue State Governor Samuel Utom thanked the federal government for the immediate response to the plight of the victims and promised to ensure judicious distribution of the relief items. The Vice President later paid a visit to the warehouse where the federal government relief items are kept. Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
Similarly, hectares of farmland worth millions of naira have been destroyed by flood in Shonga, Edu local government area of Kwara State. Deborah Agbola completes the report.
The farmers, while counting their losses on the 471 hectares of land, said the irrigation farm was financed by the Central Bank of Nigeria in collaboration with Lower Niger River Basin Development Authority and Kwara State Government.
The demonstration farm we have here has been affected, over 100 hectares that the ministry is covering here. The 50 hectares that we did for demonstration, where we did the mechanization, we are supposed to start harvesting by next week.
This 471 hectares here, we are expected to have minimum of 4 tons per hectare. And
the Emir of Songa, Dr. Haliru Yaya, comments on the flood.
Noted repeatedly that the flood comes never earlier than mid-September. It can go as far as early October. And this has been trend for nearly a decade.
While calling on the federal government to assist in recovering their losses, residents of the communities also advocate timely completion of the Kanji and Jeba dams beam to prevent future occurrence. Deborah Agbola, NTA News.
A meeting between representatives of the federal government, including the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, that of Education, Adamu, is going on with representatives of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, led by ASU President, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi. The Chairman of National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Richard Egbule, Chairman of the Federal Government Negotiating Team, Babalaki, and the NLC President, Ayuba Waba, are also in attendance. The Minister of Labour and Employment stressed that the meeting will treat areas of mistrust between the workers and the federal government so that the strike can be called off. On his part, ASU President Biodun Ogunyemi guaranteed that the industrial action will be called off as soon as government shows commitment to addressing their demands. Areas of dissatisfaction which led to the strike embarked upon by members of the National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria, NARD, have been addressed at a reconciliation meeting held in Abuja. The meeting, convened at the instance of the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, agreed that the outcome of the renegotiated Memorandum of Understanding on terms of settlement is to be presented to NARD members by Friday this week, with a view to suspending the strike once there is evidence of payment to the affected institutions. Emmanuel Ayimiro has the details.
Issues addressed include approval to pay salary shortfall of 2016 and January to May 2017, although the shortfall in August 2017 only affected those not on the IPPIS platform. The meeting, however, agreed that all those not on IPPIS must be captured in October to reflect a 100% payment, as September salaries were already at advanced stage of preparation. The meeting equally agreed to correct stagnation of promotion of members as well as remittance of contributory pension.
Will appeal to state governments and organizations that owe salary shortfalls / emolument to help workers to make genuine efforts to liquidate these areas in the spirit of revamping the healthcare system in the country.
The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation is to employ checks and balances in disbursing government funds, while the Central Bank of Nigeria is to provide additional funds for payment to the affected federal tertiary health institutions. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
In the meantime, the non-teaching staff unions of Nigerian universities have threatened to resume their suspended strike unless the government moves to honor the Memorandum of Understanding reached in January this year concerning the full implementation of the 2009 agreement. The unions, after their emergency national executive meeting held in Abuja, say they have waited 8 months for government to begin implementation and that their members are running out of patience. Issues highlighted are similar to those of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU.
Agreement was signed in 2009, and now in 2017, we are still demanding for the implementation of such agreement. Does it not show that we have been exceedingly patient, having comprehensively cleared from our members and gotten a direction from them? We hereby announce that the Jack of Nats, NASU, and SANU has directed its members to embark on comprehensive, total and indefinite strike action effective from Monday, 11 September 2017.
The three unions, National Association of Academic Technologists, NAAT, Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, have been appealing to government to implement fully the 2009 agreement. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has commended authorities of the Bayero University, Kano, for elevating the university's mass communication department to a faculty. He gave the commendation in Kano shortly after inaugurating some projects at the new site of the university. Anthony Forsin reports.
Projects inaugurated by the Minister of Information and Culture include the university's Faculty of Communication building, which comprises of the academic wing, multimedia complex.
BUK is actually very committed, and they want to be the foremost university in Nigeria, if not in Africa, in the area of mass communication. We have seen the various studios, we've seen the performing theater, we've seen the academic blocks, we've seen the offices, and we've seen the provision for the postgraduate students. So what BUK is actually telling us is that mass communication is too big to be a department, and they are blazing the trail in making it a faculty.
Dean of the faculty, Professor Umar Pati, who conducted the minister round the projects, said the state-of-the-art equipment acquired for the studios are expected to arrive the country from the United States by the end of October. From Kano, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has commended Nasarawa State Government for donation of befitting accommodation to serve as the new police command headquarters in Lafia. Joshua Ojito reports that the edifice has more than 60 offices of different sizes.
Since the creation of Nasarawa State in October 1996, the police command has been operating from a defunct political party office along Makurdi Road in Lafia. The commitment of government to securing the state against any criminality and to engender conducive work environment led to the donation of the new structure along Shandam Road. Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura said the new police headquarters comprises offices and clinic, describing it as one of the biggest single accommodation for the Nigerian police.
Arrangements have reached an advanced stage to resuscitate the operation of Operation Nasara, so that we can have interdisciplinary committee that will checkmate any kind of crime, no matter how sophisticated.
While inaugurating the edifice, Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris said the support of the state government will renew the vigor of the police in fighting crimes in the country.
May I also call on individuals and corporate bodies to identify in this manner, ensuring guaranteeing security networking is a duty to all Nigerians.
Nasarawa State Commissioner of Police Abubakar Sadiq Bello hinted that in the last 1 year, more than 300 suspects have been arrested and are being prosecuted. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force says it is intensifying operations in the northeast to wipe out remnants of Boko Haram terrorists. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar disclosed this in Abuja during a meeting with principal staff officers. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports.
The meeting brought together branch chiefs, air officers commanding and field commanders to review and re-strategize on operations of the Air Force, especially in the northeast. Enumerating achievements in the period under review, the Chief of Air Staff said 5 Super Mushak trainer aircrafts have been delivered from Pakistan with 16 pilots trained, over 1,900 recruits brought into the service, in addition to 106 direct short service cadets already posted to various formations.
We are not yet done. We must redouble our efforts, especially in the northeast. I know we have commenced an operation in the northeast which is aimed at further degrading Boko Haram. The operation code name Operation Ruamuta, which has commenced. We are going to massively dominate the entire area and make it extremely difficult for anybody that is there that is a criminal to come out to kill innocent Nigerians.
So far, the Air Force has flown over 1,077 hours in Operation Lafia Dole in the northeast in the period. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Ahead on the news tonight, experts call the attention of investors to the huge potentials in arts and crafts. Details shortly.
From 1967 to 1970, Nigeria went through a horrifying civil war. It didn't matter who was wrong or right. Everybody suffered. Those who fought that war say it should never happen again.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise the dead would have been to no avail. Would all have been in vain.
The words of our elders are full of wisdom.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Nigeria is a strong emerging world economy with a population of over 170 million people. With the diligent work of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, in line with the federal government's economic diversification agenda, SON has put in place accredited laboratories to ensure that made in Nigeria products meet international standards and ready for export. SON regularly conducts products registration, certifications, factory inspections, monitoring, a metrology laboratory to get accurate measurements, while SONCAP checks the conformity of imported products and the SON Legal Act to prosecute offenders. Don't sell and don't buy substandard products. Before you buy, look well. See something, say something, or call these numbers. SON, improving life through standards.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Dear Nigerians, let's safeguard our lives and properties against flood. Did you know that flood is a natural or man-made disaster that has affected thousands, with many lives lost and properties damaged? Change begins with you and me. Do not build houses along waterways and flood-prone areas. If you live around flood-prone areas, please start considering relocating to avoid losses. Avoid dumping of refuse in gutter and water channels. Frequently clear your drainages and waterways. Always listen to weather forecast on television and radio. Adhere and take seriously early warning alerts from relevant authorities. And in case of emergency, call 0800-2255-6362. Remember, disaster management is everybody's business. This message is from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. NEMA, for the sake of the distressed.
O God of creation, direct our noble cause. This will be the prayer of over 10,000 youths of Nigeria. The National Youth Council of Nigeria presents a 3-day special day of prayer and fasting for our dear country, Nigeria. Special prayers will be offered by Muslims and Christian faithfuls. The prayers as follows: prayer for the nation Nigeria, prayer for the President, Vice President, President of the Senate and distinguished senators, Speaker, Federal House of Representatives and honorable members, Chief Justice of the Federation and the Judiciary, secret agencies, youths of Nigeria, the states and the governments and the Northeast IDPs, national unity, security, well-being of Nigerian economy. Date 6th to 8th September 2017. Venue Eagle Square, Abuja. Time 4 p.m. daily. The grand finale will be on Friday 8th September from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. This information is brought to you by the Youth Council of Nigeria in partnership with Belema Foundation and Jack Richstein. The event is managed by a PA to the President on social events. God hear our prayer.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris. Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility. This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
The third quarter conference of the Conference of the Alumni Association of Nigerian Universities is scheduled to hold on Saturday, 9th September 2017 at the Base University, Abuja. The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Senator Hajia Aisha Jumei Al-Hassan, will deliver the keynote address with title, The Imperative of Alumni Associations in Advancing University Education in Nigeria. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of Base University, Abuja, Senator Dr. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, PhD, will be the chief host. 2 delegates, each from the federal, state, and privately owned alumni associations, are expected to attend. Professor Ahmed T. Mora, Wakali Magadin Zazao, National Chairman, Kanu, and National President, Ahmed Bello University Alumni Association, announcer.
Welcome back to NTA Network News. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has urged the nation's historians and writers to ensure the experiences and views of political gladiators who are still living and believe in the ideals and unity of the country are well documented for posterity. He described death of an old person as equivalent to a library consumed by fire. The Vice President was speaking in Abuja at the unveiling of a book titled The Genius Orator, which captured the life and times of late Maitama Sule. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Since his death on the 2nd of July this year in Cairo, Egypt, at the age of 87, so many great things have been said about late Maitama Sule by Nigerians, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who also paid condolence visit to his family in Kano. At this event, where he unveiled the book written in honor of the late sage and Dammasani of Kano, who during his lifetime served the nation in various capacities, Vice President Osinbajo spoke about his character, describing him as not only a genius orator, but a detribalized Nigerian who led by example and stood for the unity of the people of the country throughout his lifetime.
Alhaji Maitama Sule was a truly great man, and we can see that in the testimonials that followed his passing, in the caliber of the friendships and relationships that he built across Nigeria, in the quality of his thinking and writing, and especially in his simplicity and humility. This was a man for whom material comforts were never a driving force. Public service to him was never about himself. It was never about the trappings of office. It was never about wealth or privilege. Instead, it was about serving humanity and living true to his beliefs and ideals.
The Vice President reminded the people of the need to stand for peace and security of all Nigerians and the good of the nation. There were remarks from some of the guests, which included former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former President Court of Appeal Maman Nasser, elder statesman Edwin Clark, and several others. From the International Conference Center, Abuja, Jide Onifade, NT News.
President Muhammadu Yusufu of Niger Republic has stressed the need for sustained cultural cross-fertilization between his country and Nigeria as a means of using culture for the two countries to develop their economies. Correspondent Aminu Ishaq Abbas reports that President Yusufu was speaking at the palace of Emir of Daura, Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar, during a courtesy call.
President Muhammad Yusufu was in Daura on official engagement but took time to pay homage to the Emir Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar. He said there is a strong historical link between the people of Daura and that of Niger Republic. Alhaji Yusufu noted that Nigeria and Niger stand to benefit from the cultural ties which will continue to promote unity, understanding and brotherhood among their citizens. He said the two countries can explore their rich cultural heritage for the economic development in West African sub-region. The Emir Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar said the two countries have been enjoying long-standing relationship which resulted in intermarriage and cultural exchange. Governor Aminu Bello Masari commended Nigerian president for his present role between the state and his country. The governor called for more understanding between the two sister countries, which he said is critical to the social, economic and political development of West African countries. The Nigerian president was conducted around historical sites in the ancient city of Daura. President Muhammad Yusufu expressed delight over the reception accorded him by the good people of Daura. In Kazana, Aminu Ishaq Abbas, NT News.
A round-table investment forum to sensitize investors on the need to take advantage of Nigeria's tremendous potentials in arts and crafts and encourage enterprise development for export has been held on the sidelines at the ongoing Arts and Crafts 2017 Expo holding in Abuja. Ngufan Shaji reports.
At this meeting, turning waste to wealth was the thrust of interactions as captains of industry, government officials and investors toured the line of harnessing Nigerians' creative ability from the arts and crafts industry for economic gains. This, they believe, is one of the ways for the Nigerian economy to move away from dependence on oil and provide job opportunities for the youth.
The Bayelsa State contingent, for example, may come in here, created jobs for people because a lot of works that were done there were done from cane. This is something that we have in abundance in our creeks.
Arts and craft can contribute over 15% of the GDP.
We are willing and able to drive legislations that will support and revive this sector.
They also discussed the need to strengthen national unity and tone down on hate speech.
Please, let's join hands together, and the issue of breaking us apart, we should avoid it. And that is what is enshrined in our news and programming in NT and perhaps some other sister stations in Nigeria in order to propagate that unity, the strength of purpose that we have as a nation.
This forum also hopes to propel efforts towards promoting the socio-economic integration of Africa. In Abuja, Kufan Shaji, NT News.
Chairman House Committee on Culture and Tourism, Honorable Omorige Ogbeide Ihama, is in our studio now to speak more on Nigerian tourism potentials. Welcome to NT Network News.
Thank you, Aide. Thank you for having me.
I first want to ask, what is the economic development that has to do with this tourism expo?
Well, I think first of all, it's an opportunity and an avenue for stakeholders to be able to bring to the table issues that could bring about development in the culture and tourism sector. And AFAC, which is the African Festival for Arts and Culture, is an annual event that brings about participants from different African countries, including Nigeria. And it's a forum where issues are being discussed. Well, as you well know, the culture and tourism sector is underfunded, and the potentials are enormous. You know, wealth creation, employment, boosting of the economy. So I think it's something that federal government as a policy must bring to the front burner.
Yes. Now, talking about the Nigerian economy, which is said to be going out of recession now.
Yes.
How can we use culture and tourism industry to boost, to leverage on this?
Well, you see, unfortunately, we're never proactive as a nation, unfortunately. We have to wait till it gets bad before we begin to rescue situation. Using culture and tourism as a way of leverage, it's key. Like the policies of diversification of government today, I hear agriculture, I hear solid mineral, but I don't hear culture and tourism. I tell you, yes, agriculture is key, is important. Solid mineral is key, is important, but solid mineral is on the long term. Culture and tourism, it's a way and an access for our people to get immediate employment, bring about skills. If you pay a visit to the stands at this AFAC, it will amaze you, what talent we have in our young people, from bead to soap making, all kinds of things. Even the strategic plan now that National Council of Arts and Culture is bringing up, it's from waste to wealth.
Okay.
Using tires, using different devices to make money. So federal government must urgently, as a policy and a strategic plan, bring culture and tourism to the front burner.
The issue that most people are looking at in Nigeria now is that of unity. Is very critical. We hear of different people who are agitating. How can we use culture and tourism to further cement Nigerian unity?
Well, I think as a diverse nation with diverse culture, from the north to the south, from the east to the west, we are endowed with rich cultural heritage. So bringing up festivals, bringing up events that could cut across tribal divide, religious divide, would bring about unity. Festival of Arts and Culture in schools. They're no longer happening in schools. Back in the days when we were in school, there were cultural events that brought about federal government colleges, students together. So you see, the Igbo culture, so you appreciate yourself. So it's another way to drive unity beyond economic drive, employment, wealth creation. And a lot of these things can even go as far as, taking the arts and craft beyond borders.
Thank you so much, Honorable Omorige Obeide Ihama.
Thank you, Inde, for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Moving on, the federal government is concluding plans to draw up processes by which real owners of businesses registered in Nigeria will be known. To this end, the Federal Ministry of Justice has called a meeting under the Open Government Partnership to get contributions from the processes. Femi Okewo reports.
Government partnership which the Nigerian government signed up to in June last year, the Federal Ministry of Justice has continued to pursue transparency in various sectors. This time, it is on the beneficial ownership in businesses, which the federal government says has always been concealed to give room for corruption by the powerful who register the companies.
Because we've realized that we have to embed the issue of beneficial ownership within our legal framework. And we are talking about corruption, but let me also say that knowing who is benefiting from a company helps us to also fight issues related to drug trafficking, financing of terrorism, and tax evasion.
A review meeting on the intended process held in Abuja attracted various governmental and non-governmental bodies such as NAETI, Corporate Affairs Commission, and the BPP. Officials hope that when concluded, the process will block studio registrations that end up milking the nation's resources. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the League Management Company of Nigeria, LCM, have signed a memorandum of understanding on the live broadcast of Nigerian Professional Football League matches. Dende Sonny reports.
That was the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, signing the Memorandum of Understanding between the NTA and the League Management Company, LMC, in Abuja Thursday. The Director General said this partnership deal between the NTA and the LMC is another step to reposition NTA and bring sports coverage back to its place of preeminence in the NTA. He added that, as a sign of commitment towards this understanding, NTA will broadcast live the Week 38 Nigeria Professional Football League game between Economy Warriors of Maiduguri and MFMFC of Lagos at the Maiduguri Township Stadium. The chairman of the League Management Company, Malam Shehu Diko, disclosed that the Memorandum of Understanding is to, among other things, ensure that more live matches of the Nigerian Professional Football League are on television, adding that the choice of NTA comes naturally as the authority has a rich history of sports reportage. Malam Shehu Diko said the LMC and NTA have full backing of the Minister of Information as the chief driver of putting Nigeria first in both content and capacity in the field of broadcasting.
Now NTA have the platform, have the basis of the equipment and the capacity, so we're starting from there, we upgrade them, and then we have technical partners that are coming from abroad to join the company, and we have the investors that will come and put the money into it.
The Secretary General of the Nigerian Football Federation, Mohammed Sanusi, who spoke on behalf of the NFF, said the NFF will always give its support to ensure that the vision of both NTA and LMC is realized. Dende Sani, NTA News.
Many groups and organizations have staged a peaceful rally through major streets of Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, in support of the Buhari administration. The rally, held under the auspices of the APC Integrity Group, is said that the president needs support of Nigerians to transform the country. Awal Abdullahi reports.
Impressed by the performance of President Muhammadu Buhari since his return from the medical vacation, various groups took to the major street of Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, to demonstrate their love and support for the Buhari's led administration. While chanting the solidarity songs, the groups displayed placards with various inscriptions as they traversed major streets of the city center and terminated the rally at the state secretariat of the All Progressive Congress. Ambassador Hassan Jika Ardo, who led the procession, said the groups were very impressed by the performance of President Buhari after his return from the medical vacation. He said that the rally is a clear expression of their happiness and appreciation to God for answering the prayers of Nigerians, saying for them as a group, they will not relent in their continued prayer for the president to enable him succeed in his agenda of repositioning the country. In Jalingo, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
And now for an update on resident doctor strike, let's join Ademola in our Lagos Network Center.
Thank you, Ayinde. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The strike action declared by the National Association of Resident Doctors 4 days ago is still on despite reconciliation meetings between the union and government. Joy Ken Abakboya monitored activities at government-owned hospitals in Lagos.
At the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth, Idiaraba, it was obvious that the strike is beginning to take its toll on clinical activities. Only consultants were on duty carrying out skeletal services. The situation was the same at the National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi, and the Federal Medical Center, Ebute-Metta. Only a handful of hospital staff were on duty, attending to a large number of patients.
We are about 50 strong medical and doctors and residents also. And we're in total compliance and in solidarity with all our members all over the country.
The striking doctors insist that there's no going back until their demands are met.
The negotiations are still ongoing. I think it ended early hours of this morning. Information will be passed down. For now, the strike still continues.
Patients are, however, hopeful that both government and the National Association of Resident Doctors will reach an agreement soon so that they can once again start receiving adequate medical attention. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
Political office holders have been enjoined to exhibit exemplary leadership qualities capable of inspiring future leaders to embrace public office with a mindset to serve diligently. This was at a one-day political gathering tagged Nigeria's Emerging Political Leaders Forum in Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
It was a gathering that attracted political bigwigs who were saddled with task of sharing their political experience with the youths in attendance. This was aimed at encouraging them to see leadership positions as a veritable platform to contribute their quota to national development. There were several plenary sessions where past and serving political leaders bared their minds on addressing money politics, gender equality, and tackling challenges militating against active participation of women in politics.
Power is not served a la carte, as we've heard them say a lot of times. When we're talking of emerging political leaders, it's important to share experiences, what to expect, what not to expect, to prepare them.
The problem we are facing is internal party democracy. Because the politicians will just want to handpick and put whoever they want to put there. The major thing we're doing right now is ensuring that we have more women that were changing their orientation.
Discussions on building enabling political structure was an integral part of the forum.
There's a political party structure. But more important than that, there is the general electorate structure. There is no desperation. You have your profession as a fallback.
We want to build a new generation of the political class, and it comes with mobilizing them intellectually. My focus usually is how do we regenerate a set of people that have the right set of values that can serve.
Question and answer session heralded the one-day forum on emerging political leaders. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for for some messages, after which the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
The brain, LG inverter technology.
Experts prefer a solution to rising cost of food prices in the country and trading on the Nigerian stock exchange.
Savings.
Close today on a positive note.
At LG.
Here is Chazalam Ekie with details.
Best concert of your life? Don't just stay cool, stay refreshed with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Pick your lane, solo or bigger boy.
Taste the feeling.
With Happy Cover from Leadway Assurance, you'll be covered for, well, almost anything.
Boys, play nicely.
From automobile cover to house to personal cover.
Play nicely with your brother.
Or with one single premium.
That's it, we're going home.
Get happy. SMS happy to 22865 and we'll call you back. SMS now. Live happy with Leadway Assurance. Ensuring happiness since 1970.
Share romances, make a friend. Stick together till the end. Share romances, socialize. Share Mentos and be nice.
Mentos candy. Crunchy outside, chewy inside.
Who says no to Mentos?
Now introducing the new Mentos Extra Strong Mint.
The APC Committee on True Federalism, with mandate to review all the ideas variously referred to as true federalism, restructuring, devolution of powers, regionalism, resource control, hereby call for the submission of memorandum from the general public. The committee by this announcement called for memorandum and ideas to be submitted in advance to the Secretary in care of the PGF Secretariat, 79 Nelson Mandela Street at Sokoro, Abuja, or send it by mail to info@truefederalism.com.ng. Memoranda will also be accepted at the zonal public hearing to be announced later. Contributors are encouraged to utilize the following digital platforms to reach the committee: Twitter @NGRTrueFed, Facebook facebook.com/NGRTrueFed, #TrueFederalism. For more information, visit truefederalism.com.ng or call Usman on 0810-528-6291. Same day on 0810-538-7211. Signed, Senator Olubunmi Adetumbi, Secretary of Committee.
M.A.S. University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees. M.A.S. University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at M.A.S. University Abuja. So learn to live at M.A.S. University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.baysuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. M.A.S. University Abuja. Learn to live.
The former Dutch footballer Ronald Koeman steered the Toffees to victory against the former Argentine defender Mauricio Pochettino's lily-white Spurs. The world's most wanted league, Everton versus Spurs, Saturday 9 September on Kwese Free Sports for the fan.
Welcome back to NTA Network News. Experts prefer solutions to rising cost of food prices in the country, and trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed today on a positive note. Here is Chiazalam Ekiye with details on business news.
Thanks for joining me. Stakeholders have stressed the need to ensure that there is an end to the rising cost of food prices and wastages that occur with tons of produce sitting in the farm. They are, however, advocating intervention in the area of transportation, which they say will no doubt affect the prices of goods. Early in the year, the federal government set up a task force on food security to curb rising cost of food items.
Government would need to begin to look at infrastructure, put more funds in infrastructure. And that's why I'm happy with what is going on in some parts of the country today, that the roads are coming up fine. Number two, the area of, processing of this food.
There should be price control. And I'm sure there are agencies for that, but they are not working. People that should be able to go into the market to ensure that there is price control.
Meanwhile, Cairo-based lending bank African Export-Import Bank is offering up to $300 million in depository receipts to private investors to boost capital for lending to industries on the continent. The bank says it will continue to focus on boosting trade within the sub-region. The Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources has estimated that about $10.38 billion can be generated by 2018 if 50% of the current kerosene and firewood users switch to liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas. This is expected to help create over 1 million skilled jobs in various segments of the LPG supply value chain. And a look at trading activities on the Nigerian stock market this Thursday. That's the package. I'm Chiazalam Ekiye. Please stay tuned for the rest of the news.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and its upstream joint venture partner ExxonMobil are seeking new measures to expand existing operational portfolio with a view to increasing crude oil production and availability of gas for power generation. Group Managing Director, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, and Senior Vice President of the United States-based Global Oil Corporation, Jack Williams, in a meeting in Abuja, stated that the joint venture, which until recently was the highest producer of crude oil in the country, was primed to make a rebound. A statement by NNPC Group General Manager, Public Affairs Division, Ndu Ugamadu, states that the corporation had talks with ExxonMobil on major operational issues like improved drilling to increase production and refurbishment of crude oil pipelines, as well as supply of gas to the planned Kwara Independent Power Plant, among others. Borno State government takes measures to curb health hazards at IDP camps. This and more from our Maiduguri Network Center. Mohammed is our guide.
Thank you, Aide, and welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government says only 2 cases of cholera were confirmed and treated at Muna IDP camp in Maiduguri. While inspecting erection of temporary tents of Emergency Health Response Center at the camp, the State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Haruna Michelia, who disclosed this, said other reported cases were that of stooling and vomiting and not cholera. Yagum Subukar reports.
While redefining the state government's commitment in curtailing any outbreak of diseases in the state, Dr. Haruna Michelia disclosed that about 264 cases of stooling and vomiting were recorded, which he attributed to poor hygiene, and called on the people to maintain the habit of good hygiene in their environments. He said qualified medical personnel have been deployed to the Emergency Response Center and assured of security protection.
We have already addressed the religious and traditional leaders in this community. We are also engaging town criers who will go from one camp to the other to talk to the people and explain to them how to behave in a hygienic way to avert any other outbreak.
The commissioner also inspected Dala Clinic Emergency Response Center, where he solicited the collaboration of the personnel managing the center with the state government in providing better health care delivery to patients. Conducting the commissioner around the center, Dr. Anna of the Doctors Without Border informed that 93 people were hospitalized as a result of stooling and vomiting and are responding to treatment, adding that only 7 people lost their lives. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
Federal Ministry of Health holds lecture on food security. Kemi brings us details from Ibadan Network Center. Over to you now, Kemi.
Thank you, Aide. Good evening and welcome to Ibadan. The Yoruba ethnic group has canvassed the need for restructuring of the Federation to give more powers to state and return governance to regional zones. This was the summary of the Yoruba Summit on Restructuring held in Ibadan. Correspondent Rofia Animashan Badmus reports.
The assemblage of Yoruba socio-cultural groups such as the Yoruba Council of Elders, Afenifere, Odua People's Congress, among others in Ibadan, was to add to the national discourse on restructuring. The summit with the theme, Restructuring the Yoruba Agenda, was to enable the Southwest geopolitical zone to have a position on the contending issue.
Restructuring, the Yorubas are united, that the country must be restructured now.
I think restructuring is something whose time has come and it has become inevitable.
A 13-point proposal was brought up for consideration, principles of which are the adoption of a federated Nigeria of 6 regions and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and devotion of more powers to states.
I believe in the unity of Nigeria, but it must be based on justice, equity, and fair play. But this one is all-encompassing, and that is why it is timely. That is why it has to be supported.
Chairman of the session, Chief Afe Babalola, believes that the restructuring being clamored will bring about change in sweat from labor dignified than stealing public funds. In Ibadan, Wafia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
Time now for another break.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
Up next now is Obiageli Uguoke with stories from the global scene.
Hello and welcome. Tanzania's President John Magufuli has ordered an immediate legal action against officials who have been implicated in a large-scale corruption in the country's mining industry. This comes after 2 parliamentary reports revealed that huge amounts of minerals have been stolen from the country's mines, which could have benefited ordinary Tanzanians. President Magufuli asked for the resignation of the affected officers to enable for comprehensive investigations. And the UN Security Council has set up sanctions system allowing the UN to penalize anyone who violates Mali's 2015 peace deal, obstruct delivery of aid, commits human rights abuses, or recruits child soldiers. Anyone who violates the terms could face a travel ban or asset freeze. In the meantime, Hurricane Irma has caused widespread destruction across the Caribbean, reducing buildings to rubble and leaving at least 10 people dead. Officials have warned that the death toll is likely to rise. Irma is a Category 5 hurricane, the highest possible level. Moving on, China has shot down missiles near the North Korean border in a provocative show of force against Kim Jong-un's action. North Korea was sent a direct message from Beijing in an explosive military drill near the border between the two states. And that does it on this segment. The news continues.
Tamara Ebiwe now has sports update.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development